If you want to be a part of our live Ask Me Anything, where you ask Stephen Pope, that's me, a question live on camera, join this link with StreamYard. Once you join inside of StreamYard, we can only have a maximum of 10 people in at any given time. And so you'll enter into our private chat and say, hey, I want to ask Stephen about this. I want to ask him about PPC, SEO design, catalog troubles, whatever it might be. I then will select your question and add you into my stream. After we finish our conversation, I'll remove you from the stream and you can continue watching here on YouTube. We want to rotate through as many people as possible and offer a format that's never been done before. Basically, it's like the radio. When somebody calls up, asks their question, they go on the air, and they do the next interview side by side. I want to be able to talk to as many Amazon sellers as possible because I love talking to Amazon sellers. That's why we brought this StreamYard format along. So again, just log in with a link in StreamYard. We'll have that link at the top of this video here in the comment section. If you want to be alerted about the link to join StreamYard or you want to be alerted about other Amazon news, go over to myamazonguy.com/subscribe and put your email address in right here. That's our newsletter. We reach thousands of Amazon sellers and virtual assistants and everybody that wants to learn about things that are happening in the Amazon space. And as a heads up, if you join the StreamYard and don't ask a question in the chat within 2 minutes, we're going to remove you because we're capped with the number of people that can join the StreamYard. So if you just want to watch, you don't want to ask a question on camera, just watch here at YouTube, youtube.com/myamazonguy. If you want to be a part of our live Ask Me Anything, where you ask Stephen Pope, that's me, a question live on camera, join this link with StreamYard. Once you join inside of StreamYard, we can only have a maximum of 10 people in at any given time. And so you'll enter into our private chat and say, hey, I want to ask Stephen about this. I want to ask him about PPC, SEO design, catalog troubles, whatever it might be. I then will select your question and add you into my stream. After we finish our conversation, I'll remove you from the stream and you can continue watching here on YouTube. We want to rotate through as many people as possible and offer a format that's never been done before. Basically, it's like the radio. When somebody calls up, asks their question, they go on the air, and they do the next interview side by side. I want to be able to talk to as many Amazon sellers as possible because I love talking to Amazon sellers. So that's why we brought this StreamYard format along. So again, just log in with a link in StreamYard. We'll have that link at the top of this video here in the comment section. If you want to be alerted about the link to join StreamYard or you want to be alerted about other Amazon news, go over to myamazonguy.com/subscribe and put your email address in right here. That's our newsletter. We reach thousands of Amazon sellers and virtual assistants and everybody that wants to learn about things that are happening in the Amazon space. And as a heads up, if you join the StreamYard and don't ask a question in the chat within 2 minutes, we're going to remove you because we're capped with the number of people that can join the StreamYard. So if you just want to watch, you don't want to ask a question on camera, just watch here at YouTube, youtube.com/myamazonguy. Beginning in just under 2 minutes here, we've got a special treat. We've got Mr. Dan, Cool Pete, so excited, and many more behind the scenes with us. We'll be talking to many different Amazon sellers today. We'll talk to you soon. Here, but we need to share your webcam. Otherwise, we're going to go to Cool Pete's first. All right, Jordan's here. Sweet. All right, welcome to the My Amazon Guy podcast. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm here to answer all of your Amazon questions. I'm going to try and look down right now, and my eyes are still looking at the camera. I'm testing this new NVIDIA eye camera tracker. I'm an introvert who likes to look off screen, so this is a little bit more professional looking. It's kind of creepy at the same time. I'm not looking at the camera right now, and it's still making me look at it. So, all right, let's bring in Jordan, and he's going to be our first guest today. I saw your email. I know we're going to be talking a little bit about dimensions, but how can I help?
Yeah, can you hear me okay? So
yeah, hear you just fine.
Yeah, perfect.
Can you see my eyes? Really, I'm not looking at the camera right now.
Yes, I saw that on LinkedIn. Yeah. So really, I work for an agency as well, and it's something that I've just seen. I sell myself on Amazon thanks to all your knowledge. And I've seen that Amazon is sneaking in.
That's because it's not me against you, other Amazon agencies. All of us against Amazon.
Yeah, basically. But basically, Amazon, I've seen off my own back that Amazon's obviously sneaking in these March updated FBA fees. A lot of people in the agency hasn't realized this. A lot of sellers haven't realized this. And I think it's absolutely massive that people need to know because it's going to affect margins even more.
So talk to me about your case study. It's an interesting situation.
I did a little case study that I emailed. So this is the box here. So it's just a normal size box, about 25 centimeters by 25 centimeters by 20. So normally that would cost, for example, current FBA tier is a standard parcel. It's 1.1 kilograms. So it's about £3.36. I'm from the UK, so slightly different dollars. £3.36 for that typical box. However, Amazon are now working out, instead of size tiers, they're doing it on either dimensional weight, which is the length times width times height divided by 5,000. You can find it online, or the units weight. So the trouble is with that box, even though it's 1.1 kilograms and it's within a low tier, the dimensional weight is a lot larger. So they're now going to be classing that box. They're now going to be putting that as a category as 2.54 kilograms. So that's
what is that going to do to the price?
Yeah, so it's a 60% increase on my FBA fee. So it's going from.
Did I hear that right? 60% increase in your FBA fees?
Yeah, 60%. So originally it was £3.36, and now from March 2023, I will be paying £5.38 per unit sold. And of course, the UK, you get VAT on top of that, no doubt. I'm not VAT registered. So £2.42 increase per unit sold. And I know for these clients that we managed, that the shifting units like that is, it's 60% increase.
That's a massive increase. So you're right. People are not talking about this enough. I don't think people realize it. They probably won't even realize it in March. They'll probably realize it like in June or July when they start looking at the P&L and they're like, holy, what happened? And then people are going to look at the fee adjustments. Now, there are services out there that track the FBA fees, and they do alert you when they change. I use Helium 10 myself. But man, that is a massive change, over basically 2.5 pound per order. So what are you going to do about this? Like what's your initial hot take solution?
Well, I think they've just put the surcharge on as well, didn't they? 2022 fuel surcharge as well. So
which was
the costs keep going up.
Right? Like we know that's not temporary.
No, the costs keep going up and up. So obviously, a lot of our clients, of course, obviously got the cost of living crisis and stuff like that. Especially in the UK, it's quite hitting home at the moment. So obviously, their margins are already squeezed. We're going into a recession that you can't really put the prices up too much more. People don't have disposable income. People are scared. So there's the factor of, can you charge more? Can you not charge more? Will your sales velocity drop in line with obviously increasing your price? So luckily for me, I've not purchased. That was just a sample, and I've managed to just pick up on that straight away. But I don't think there's that much you can do. I just want to make it aware, and that's why I wanted to jump on today with yourself. You've got a massive.
So Jordan emailed me the other day, and I invited him on because I actually wanted to share this. I think it's a fascinating use case and terrifying as well. Because if your dimensional weights, that's a whole framework shift, right? We know that Amazon's going to start doing weird auction things with their warehouse space, and like, oh, I need more space. No problem. Come do this PPC bid, except it's logistics, and auction it off, which kind of makes sense, except doesn't, because we all know the good old boys and the Vendor Central brands are probably going to win, and the Seller Central clients going to be left by the wayside. Basically anybody that Amazon doesn't make margin on, they don't care. So there's a lot of friction there. The other thing too, with the change in methodologies that Jordan just went through, we're going to be looking at dimensional weight. Very, very different of a situation. Did I capture that right? Am I using the right phrases? Yeah, dimensional weight.
Yeah, so it's the dimensional weight, and it's the length times. You can find all this on the FBA fees if someone searches it. Just FBA tier list. So it's the length times width times height divided by 5,000, and that will give you what your typical dimensional kilograms or pounds, or whatever that might be, is. And that's how they mark it.
So the two ideas that I think most people are going to default to is raise prices, which we've all been doing left and right, and inflation's out of control. The government says inflation's like 8%. We all know it's really 24%. It's 60% if you're shipping crap like Jordan is on Amazon here on logistics. So there's more fees to come. So raise prices, obvious, that's going to happen no matter what. But the second thing is maybe the death of Prime. We might see more 3PL stuff, controlling your own stuff at your own warehouse, because if you lose any cost savings and the Prime 2-day shipping's 5-day Prime, I don't know if you guys have noticed, like you put stuff in your cart on Amazon, it's no longer just arriving super fast. So clearly a lot of burdens right now on the Amazon logistics system, and they are exasperating right now. I mean, that's a massive change, big change.
I think that's where it's going. It's going to be more stock control from your 3PL. You can't, it's the days of going to kind of slowly going where you can just shift 400 units into Amazon, leave it there. The prices of the costs are going up and up. You need a 3PL, or even I know people that get just storage containers nowadays. You can get them so much cheaper. And if you work out the fee difference from Amazon, because I think the example with this, it's very much products that are either very light, but very dimensional, very big, because they've realized, hang on a second, we're charging a very low fee and it's taking up all the space in the bloody warehouse. So that's probably what they're doing. Or alternatively, it's small products that are very heavy. So they choose which is greater. So if you've got 1.1 kilogram, which is the box, or a dimensional weight of 2.5, typical Amazon, they go, well, that one's larger, so we're going to charge you on the larger one. So yeah, ways around it, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone is aware of that, because it will impact. Do your own, I guess, do your own calculations.
T-minus 6 weeks. Here we go. So that's not too far away. There's more fee hikes coming. Well, yeah, I agree with Jordan. I think this is a big awareness issue. So I'm glad to invite you in and talk about that. Jordan, thanks for coming on. We got a full crowd today. More than 10 people waiting to talk today. So Jordan, we'll excuse you and keep watching on YouTube if you'd like. We're going to bring in Cool Peeps, super fan, #1 fan status, has been commenting on my videos for years, has sent my children some of her products. So I'm so excited to talk to you, and thank you for joining the My Amazon Guy podcast.
You're my hero. I thank you, Stephen, for all you do for our community. I tell all my seller friends about you. So I'm your #1 fan, literally. Today, I don't want to take up too much time, but I do have some pesky troubleshooting issues with the listing that I just not able to resolve with Seller Central. The first one was error A572.
Seller Central is so amazing. There's never any trouble sending a ticket in and getting something fixed.
I love your ChatGPT poem about how horrible they are. But anyway,
viral.
I love it. So the error A572. So the issue is that my listing is live, but what I'm not able to do is to edit any of the backend listing details, because I keep seeing that pop up. And so when I contacted Seller Central, they escalated it and said there's actually no issue with my listing whatsoever. They asked me to delete the listing and then add it back via flat file. I'm a little reticent to do that because it is selling. It's fine right now. I just can't change the backend details. If I were to take it down and then not be able to... I would not
delete it before I try a template file by itself, for sure. I have a really good hypothesis for you. So this is the good news. I would check the GTIN field on the back end. So first question for you. Do you have one SKU or two SKUs on the same ASIN?
Just one.
But just one.
The issue is I don't have a GTIN. I have an ISBN/UPC.
I understand. It goes in the same field, though. Yep. Okay. Is it loaded? Or does it say? So. Or does it show the ASIN?
I have to check.
Okay.
I can check right now.
If the ISBN, since you've shared that it's a book, is not loaded and it shows the ASIN, the obvious next step to troubleshoot here is simply download your CLR report, which is a category listings report. Yep. And for those that don't know how to download the CLR report, just Google right now in Google, type in My Amazon Guy backup catalog. And then my video will walk you through how to download and back up a catalog. Following that, open the file, go to that SKU in question, and see if the ISBN is listed in the GTIN field. If it's not, fill it in and re-upload the file. And there is like a 90% chance this will fix your problem in 15 minutes.
Where's the GTIN field? I'm looking on the back end right now. It's under product identity.
So you can screen share if you're comfortable. If not, I'll do it on mine.
Sure.
Because I can actually diagnose it if you do screen share. Are you comfortable doing that? If not, no worries.
Can you do yours? Sorry.
I know it took me weeks to convince you to come on camera, so I'm not surprised by your answer. So
go for it.
All right. So in here, if you go to let's see if I get to the right tab. So right here, product identity. This is somewhat different and depending on the category. So ISBN products might be a little bit different. But right here, they're calling it external product ID. And you can see
Yeah.
that's typically related to the barcode, right?
Yeah.
And in here, I have listed UPC like this. Okay. Now, Amazon added a 0 and listed it as an EAN. Not a big deal. And this feature is locked from a manual change. So you can't change this manually.
Mm-hmm.
So what you need to do is download the catalog and then refill this in. But this is the GTIN field. And the reason it's called the GTIN field is because it can be a UPC, can be an EAN, could also be an ISBN, and you can technically also fill in the ASIN as well. So that's why that happens. Now I'm going to see if I can find one of my catalog files. I just recently did a computer wipe, so I may not be able to find this on the fly.
So Stephen, you wanted the flat file to reflect the UPC in that field?
Yes.
Got it. So right now, what it says is that on the top line, it has my EAN, which is my UPC. On the bottom, it has my ASIN in it.
So the field. So let me share my screen one more time here. So this field right here, this is showing ASIN.
Yeah, it's showing ASIN.
That's your problem. So we just diagnosed it. I'm with more than a 90% certainty. I think you can fix this problem today in 15 minutes.
Okay. So download CR.
Download the CR report, fill in the ISBN to that field, and re-upload the catalog, and it should fix in 15 minutes. Okay.
And do a partial update or full update?
Won't matter. Okay. Either one works. I think it's fine to do a full update because you're literally taking the download of your catalog and just changing one field. That's all you're doing.
Okay. Awesome. I'll keep you updated on that one then. Awesome. Thank you for that.
I'm so confident of this. I'm super excited to see when that solution happens for you. By and large, a lot of catalog problems happen when the GTIN field is not present with the original source data. You lose your seller contribution rights, which then causes the listing to lock. It's almost as if the item doesn't link to your brand registry.
Yeah. Okay. Can I ask you another related question then?
Absolutely. Super fan status. Ask your second question. No problem.
Okay. Quick question. So on the same listing, before this whole error started to appear, I wasn't also able to change the title because it kept saying like my attribution contributor was my AU account. So it was my Australia account.
Yep.
And when I changed it in the Australia account, it reflected elsewhere in the rest of the world, but not here, not in the US. And
so template file upload will help. And the reason it's probably also still related to the GTIN field is because in the Australia account, I bet if you go log in there real quick, you'll see that the ISBN is loaded there.
And
it's not an
error message up there too. Yeah.
So once you fix that in the US, I think all of your problems are going to go away. If your problems don't go away, file a couple of brand registry tickets and try it again. And if it's still not working, at that point, I would try the deletion. But I'm like 90% certain you're just going to load that. You're going to download the catalog. You're going to reload it, change the one field, and it's going to fix your problem.
I hope so. Fingers crossed. Okay. Last two questions. I promise real quick. So premium A+ content, I have 16 plus content like EBC content, brand stories all collectively. Supposedly I should get, the premium A+ content unlocked by now, but I don't.
Do you have the brand story present on all products?
Yes.
Okay. And what I would do if I were you is just go ahead and change one graphic and do another 10 submissions on your A+ content. Just do something super easy, do more submissions, try and get it to go through.
Okay. You got it.
And every 30 days, they'll check it.
Okay. That's a question, and it's related to the auction-based system for the restocking limit. So is there, like, starting March 1, is there going to be, like, baseline restocking limit that we all get, and then we just bid on top of the baseline limit? Or is it, like, everything's going to be up for grabs?
So they haven't given a lot of clarity to this, but it would make no sense to me if it wasn't the original thought you had, which is you get your baseline, and then if you want more on top of that, then you're going to auction. So the way that it makes sense to my brain is they'll take the IPI score and give you your baseline. And then if you want more than that, you have to bid for it.
Got it. Awesome.
And if it's anything different than that, there's going to be massive chaos.
I think so too. Awesome. Well, those are all the questions. You did it.
Well,
You aced it. Thank you,
well,
Steven.
thank you
You're
very
the best.
much. You're a wonderful human being. Thanks for being a super fan of our channel and following us for several years now. And keep it up. It's so awesome seeing your account grow and keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, you're the best. Thanks, Steven. Talk to
All
you
right,
soon.
we'll see you later. All right, so dude, that was the first time we got Cool Peeps on camera. She asks questions almost every single week. All right, so we got Manu next, and then Dan Hall on the back end here. So I'm going to pull up Manu. Am I saying your name right? Hello.
Yes, Manu. It's actually
Manu.
Manuela. Hello.
Hello.
It's German with a Spanish name, but yeah.
Oh yes. All right. Wonderful. Well, welcome to the My Amazon Guy podcast. How can I help?
Thank you so much, and thank you so much. Cool Peep said for everything that you do. That's really helpful to watch your seminars. Well, my question actually today is, when you list a product new on Amazon, what would you actually recommend to start out listing the prices? Would you always have a sales price? I used to work for a company. We always had a sales price, and then we put the end of the sales date actually 5-10 years out. So we didn't have to worry about the sales price actually being outdated. So, but I just was wondering about best practice of all the fields like sales price, your price, list price, and then where you see the velocity, it has minimum price, maximum price. So I was wondering what your take is actually on.
All right, so let's do a masterclass on pricing today. Okay, here we go. So from easiest to hardest field to get right, let's start with the basics. List price is the manufacturer's suggested retail price. It's fake. Mm-hmm. You can fill in anything you want there. My recommendation is generally 15 to 20% higher than the actual price a consumer will pay. The list price will most of the time not show up unless the item has previously at some point sold at that price. So not a lot of control. So generally speaking, the reason why I say this is one of the easier fields to get right, just take your price and add 15 to 20% and load it in. Okay. The sale price is really a defunct field these days with one exception. The only time you need to fill in the sale price is if you want to schedule a pricing adjustment, whether it's temporary or whatever. So for example, let's say I normally sell my item for $20, but I know for Black Friday weekend, for 4 or 5 days, I want to schedule a discount for $2 off. It's going to go down to 18. And I want it to go back up to 20 on the Tuesday right after Cyber Monday. The sales price field is one way you can do that and do this in bulk. Do it in bulk across all of your SKUs at the same time, or do it on a single one. And it schedules it, makes it super easy. Now, the way this field has typically been misused, I wouldn't call it abused, it's more of just misunderstood, is that everybody thinks they have to have the sale price filled in at all times. And that's really not the case. It doesn't do you any good with the algorithm or anything like that. It's purely a logistical field for scheduling. There are many other ways you can run a discount. You can run coupons, you can run promo codes, you can run sales prices, you can run a Prime exclusive discount, you can run a lightning deal. All of those different fields can be used. The sales price is not a special field by any stretch. It doesn't get you access to anything new. It just allows you to schedule things. And then the price field, that is run-of-the-mill. Here is the price I want to sell it to the consumer. Now, the price field can be affected by the sales price field if the sale price field is filled in. But if it's not, then the price field is what it sells to the consumer. You cannot load a product to Amazon without the price field. So now I just talked I probably should have done a screen share as I did this. So now I'm thinking about this. Let's go over to the offer tab and kind of talk through this. But so here's what I was talking about with sales price. If you fill this in, it'll override the price field down here. If these are not filled in, then whatever this says, $15, This Is the Way Star Wars tumbler cup will sell for 15. If I put it in for $13.99, I'll get 2 error messages here because it will tell me, hey, I need to fill it in the start date and the end date. You simply fill that in, it'll clear it out. But you do not need to have this filled in 24/7. The list price field is in various different sections. Sometimes it's hiding. Sometimes they put it into like the product details tab, the other tab, depends on the category. But in the home goods tab, it's typically in the offers section. And right here, so if I wanted the list price to be 20% higher or whatnot, I could do something like $17.99, do something like that. All right, so I'm going to clear out the sales price and I'm going to save the list price. Sometimes you'll get a message from Amazon that you haven't submitted your list price. You need to go act and do that. And that's normal. And it's helpful, especially if you have price going up and down on an item, then the strike through will show up. Now, the other thing that changed in the last 6 or 12 months is that Amazon started giving automatic strike through pricing when you were at your lowest price in 30 days. So sometimes you'll see if you were at that $20, you marked it down 20%, it'll say lowest price in 30 days and show you the discount in the red line through it. So over the last 10 years, strike through pricing has been a best practice. It's been hyper abused. Amazon took it away. Amazon brought it back. And they keep testing things to see what works best with the consumer. So that's why we have all of these different pricing components. So was there any part of that I should spend more time on, or is there another component you're worried about?
No, that totally makes sense. Would you also always fill out the minimum price and maximum price?
I'm glad. Yes, I knew there was something I missed. Okay. So min and max price is not necessary. The typical reasons why somebody will fill this in are 1 or 2 use cases standardly. Number one, if you want to make sure that your repricer does not go below or above your min and max pricer, you would fill that in. I would say 96% of sellers never touch the repricer tool. Now, this is inside of Seller Central. You can use it. It's super easy. Typically, the people that use the repricer tool are retail arbitrage or wholesale sellers. And those people would go in and try and match lowest price. So that's when you'd fill in min and max. The other time you might fill it in is if you are selling something not retail arbitrage, but you have a manufacturer that sets MAP pricing. That's why it's called minimum advertised pricing, MAP pricing for the acronym. And they force you to have that filled in. Now, if your item goes below MAP, and you're selling on Amazon, it will hide your price. And it will say, add to cart to see price. This will kill the conversion rates. This is why I recommend not filling these fields out. It's unnecessary.
Okay, that makes sense.
So when you go to launch a new product, normally it's fill out every field and you're better off. In this case, I wouldn't fill min and max price out.
That's okay. Yeah.
Cool. All right. We got some pricing questions. I don't think we've done so much in-depth pricing questions before. So it was very nice to meet you. And
nice
thanks for coming on.
Thank you for all your help.
No problem. All right. You can continue watching on our YouTube stream there. We're going to bring in Dan Hall next. Dan, good to see you again.
Hey, man. How are you?
Very good.
Yeah, not quite a super fan. I haven't been here since day one, but I've been hanging around for a while.
Well, we're nonetheless, I know who you are.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I harass you quite often. Not quite often, but once in a while.
So how can I help?
Hey, so I noticed like when you search for Age of Sage, all of your soaps show up all over the place and they're in variation. But my items and just about any other item I see out there, you can only get one of the variations to show up in search results. Is this
all right?
like
So let's test this out in real time and show everybody. Okay. So I'm going to add this to, let's see if I can get this done. Okay, here we go. So I just typed in Age of Sage.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got one ad there. Here's my organic. Yeah, these are on the same listing. Yeah. And to your credit, I see exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So we see multiple variations from the same parentage. So you're right. That happened. If we go to the brand attribute on the far left, I actually don't even see it. Yeah, I don't see the brand attribute. So let's see if we can replicate this for another brand. I'm trying to think how we could do this. What would be another brand that has a clever name that we could see the variations? Maybe Monster Energy Drink. Let's see what this does. Okay, so we have their classic listing with 20,000. Let's see if this has any variations. So it's got a pack of 15, pack of 24. So let's look at the main image, see what the main image difference is. Does it show both? There's a pack of 12 there, pack of 24. I don't think these are the two connected though. Pack of 15. I think this is the one. Okay, so I believe that this only happens when you do a brand name search. It's not something I ever thought about before, but as you can see the feature from the store section, these are things that if we click on this, I bet it's going to go to the brand store. Yeah, it does. So these are items listed in the brand store, and look how it shows the top 4 items right there.
Yeah.
Let's see if that lines up. I bet it does. Pretty close. It's 2 of them. It skips one, but this one's also in the top there. You can see that right there. So maybe it's not automatically matching it like for like, but it's got to be pulling the info from there.
Yeah. I can't duplicate it on any of the brands that I work on, so I didn't know. There was a brand that I worked on a while back, and before, I can't remember actually exactly how it went, but I think when I entered a parent title, I lost the ability to do this. So I was curious if there's a way to leave your parent title blank, if that helps. But then you can never get a CLR to go through if you don't fill it in, and you get the error messages.
So I've got 2 thoughts for you, Dan. Thought number 1, always fill out a parent title. The reason this is important is if you go to the top 100 of any category. So like, let's go to the bath soaps, for example. What shows up right here is actually the parent title.
Right. And that's on your listings. It's all the children titles that are showing up for each of them.
Well, sure. But what I'm trying to point out here is if any of these items are in a parentage, the parent title shows up here. You can go click on it, and then the child title will show up. This is also true. Let's see how true I'm getting on this. So I think I'm showing the opposite of what I'm saying here. So what we see right here is the pine tar, and it's clearly that they wouldn't make that the parent title. So I think I'm conflicting what I'm saying there. Having said that, if we click on the sold by and we go into the C product offers, I believe this can show the parent title instead of the child in this section, but I'm not 100% on that.
Children. So maybe it's a bath soap thing. That's what I was wondering, if it's a category deal,
well, regardless, let's say I'm absolutely wrong about where parent title shows up. I know for 100% fact it's smart to optimize and put keywords in it, because if it can show up anywhere, it's going to help you. So that's the first thought I had. The second thought I had is trying to get multiple variations to show up in Amazon search is not possible. I'm very confident in this, even though you can see it when you look for the brand. But in terms of if we did men's artisan soap, which I dominate this category, so we see I'm in SEO slot number 1 right here, we will not see another one of my items from the same parentage unless it's an ad. So the from customers preferred brands, that's an ad. But as we scroll down, we shouldn't see another of my variations show up. Okay, there is one right there. So as we scroll back up here, that's right, because that's I repackaged it. So never mind. I'm correct so far. I haven't conflicted myself. So this is one parentage. We go over here. We won't see any of these other 4 parentages show up on the front end of that one search term, because when items are parented, you can only see one variation. So as we scroll down, this is a different parentage with different product that I repackaged. I changed the packaging on. And as we scroll down, we shouldn't see another version of either of those items organically, and we don't. Right? So I have very strong SEO on this term.
Search, sorry, what's can you go to your new packaging one? Let's go
to the new package. Here you go.
So when you search, I tried this before, vegan bath soap. Search vegan bath soap and see what comes up.
So let's see what comes up. And there's one of
There
mine.
you go. So there's
Okay.
2.
There's another. That's an ad. I only see the one so far. So if you, okay,
Oh,
I see 2 right
okay.
there. You're right. Okay, so it's in the more results section,
Mm.
and it's not. It doesn't appear to be in the ad section. So I see what you're saying. Interesting.
It was, definitely caught my attention. I was like, I wonder how he's doing it. But
Yeah, it's definitely not intentional, nor have I observed it before.
Okay.
And there I am again.
Yeah.
So maybe this is an ad section. That's the only thought I have in the more results section.
And I asked Jason and Faith last week as well, and they were, they thought it was just because sales were so strong. But I definitely have some items where sales are, I'm ranked in the top 3, and it just like, even if I search for the brand name, I don't show up. Like
here I am again. So so it could. Here's my guess. I have 2 guesses. Guess number 1: if there's not enough product to show, Amazon will show the product. Guess number 2: Amazon is testing something. They're showing, they're changing their algorithm rules, and they're showing more of my brand because it converts better.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like here, you demonstrated it very well. I've got five results, all from the same parentage showing up.
Now, so the other thing is, so see, they all have their own children title as well, or child title, I believe.
Yeah. So it's normal for child titles to show up in search results. That's normal.
Okay, because I can't get that to happen on my products either.
Which category?
Sports and outdoors.
That's why. Sports and outdoors has a different parentage mechanism, and the variation theme will dictate frequently that you show the parent title and not the variation title. So this is especially true in size fields, and sometimes true in color fields.
Now, to your point earlier, I still benefit from putting search terms in the children titles.
There's no question that is going to help you with SEO. No question.
Okay.
And by the way, every time we typically talk about parentage, we often will think about, should I break the listing up or should I keep it the same? Yeah. And the answer I generally give to that is, when in doubt, parent. And when you have 2 runners, break the parentage in half and put one parentage with one runner and the other half of the parentage with the second runner. Generally speaking, beneficial to parent. And then the use case for when you don't want to parent is when you want to show multiple product in search results. But in my case, on this one term, I'm already doing it. So I guess I'll keep mine parented anyway. So
cool.
But the more popular terms, and when there's not product dominating a field, you typically will see only one variation show up. That's what it's supposed to do, or what it's done historically. Yeah. But with all things Amazon, changes all the frickin' time.
Yeah, definitely. All right, cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate your time.
Dan, always good to see you. We'll talk to you later. Very interesting. I love doing live demos because sometimes it's not always what I expect. So we'll see what happens. Junior's been a My Amazon Guy client. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Hey, Steven. Good to see you.
You as well. How can I help today?
Yeah, so actually, it's funny, the coincidence of being right after Dan. My question is extremely similar, is how do we get more of our best-selling rugs to show up on the catalog page? So right now, we have multiple colors in the same parent listing. And the debate we had in an internal meeting was, what if we separated out the blue rugs and separate out the black rugs? Because if you're shopping for a blue rug, the likelihood of you clicking a blue image and then ending up buying black is, in my assumption, quite low.
I would agree.
So
Makes sense.
We were like, what if we just split these up? We do suffer one damage, which would be our reviews would get split up.
I don't think that's as damaging as people think it is, right? So when you're shopping, the difference in conversion rate between 100 reviews and 900 is inconsequential. It's different between 100 and 1,000. So if you're breaking something up and you're going to go from a 4-digit review count down to 3, I think you will feel a little bit of an impact. But even still, the way that I would make this decision, do you have 2 runners?
Yeah.
It's safe to break them apart, because if you have two products, and you can define a runner however you like, but let's say for easy math's sake that 100 units per month is a runner. And if you have two products on the same parentage that do over 100 units, and then the rest of the parentage does like 15 or 20, I would absolutely break it up. Now, especially if one of the runners is blue and one of the runners is black.
Okay.
The only thing that would give me a little bit of pause is as if you talk to 100 of your customers and you ask them, and it's hard to do this research, mind you, but if you ask them, like, how would you shop for rugs? Tell me, like, walk me through your process, or quite frankly, just tell them what to do and then record it and just kind of annotate some of that information. What I would do is make sure that I parent based on how the consumer likes to shop. So you said somebody looking for blue is not going to buy black. That could be the case. But what happens if somebody's not searching for a color and they just want a rug that's does a certain thing or has a certain keyword that's in all of your titles? Would you prefer they look at your parentage and start scrolling through your options? Or what typically happens, and let's go back to my screen share here. So we'll go to one of my listings.
Mm-hmm.
So does the person who buys vegan soap want to shop by scent, or do they want to shop by something else? And I think pretty safe to assume they like to shop by scent. So they want to come in here and see various different scents to buy and look at it like this. So in my mind, I want the consumer looking at my scent variations like this instead of scrolling down and doing this and seeing all the different variations that are available, right? So you don't want to lose them in the sponsored ads. Also, big shout out for Brand Stories, a fantastic way to link to hundreds of products. And you can see that's exactly what I've done here. And we've
shout out to you. We started using Brand Story after one of my con calls with you.
And it made a fantastic difference for all the brands I've done it on.
Yeah.
AOV goes up, more time spent on page, lots of great benefits. So if you know your customer, and I know you do, like you are the rug man, right? And I don't know if you have a more affectionate term you prefer, but for me, that makes sense. But like, you know how your customer shops, then merchandise how they want to buy, right? So like I took a call with a sales coach this past week, and I said, hey, I'm going to buy from you. I just don't know how. And he's like, never had that question before. And I said, yeah, isn't that interesting? And it's because, you know, he had a couple different packages, and I said, I don't know what's right for me yet. But like, when you're trying to figure out how to do things on Amazon, sometimes asking this basic question, how do customers buy, answers the series of events that you need to go factor in, right? So if we were talking John Deere for a moment, there are two types of customers that buy John Deere. This isn't a famous business book story somewhere. I don't know. I'm retelling it from memory. But basically, they explain that two types of customers buy John Deere. One needs to call in, is a noob farmer, has no idea what's going on, and needs them to just tell them what to buy and talk them through it. The second type of John Deere customer was the guy that didn't want to talk to anybody, just wanted to see the spec sheet and make a decision. So you could have multiple customer sets, but by and large on Amazon, you can only cater to one. So you figure out, how do you buy merchandise accordingly? So I don't know if that's helpful or not.
Yeah, I'm scared because it's a high risk move, splitting up like my black bestseller.
I actually concur with you. Moving parentage, you need to have a high threshold to decide to do it.
Okay. Good. And I had a second question. It's a pretty quick one.
Go ahead.
The FBA shipping charges, are there tiers? So if your package dimension is this big, doesn't show well, versus maybe being 30% smaller, that you end up being in a lower tier for shipping charges. How do we find that out? It
can. And as you may have seen from one of our prior guests, Jordan, who started us out today, they're changing the whole thing in March. And so it's going to dimensional weight, which is different than the current system. And so every dimensional size, height, width, weight, and etc. Will affect that. So yes, Now, if you're wondering how it will affect you, the best thing that you can do is go to the FBA fees help page, and they do break it down. Geraldine, if we could give a link to that page in the comment section, it might help people out. But essentially, it'll show you like how to run the calculation. You divide it by 5,000, you add everything up, divide it by 5,000, and there's your number. And then you can calculate the fee. But you're going to see massive fee changes in March. Big time.
I was at a trade show just now in some Chinese company, and I see their product on Amazon. And they were like, oh, you're buying for Amazon. Oh, in that case, instead of this size, you should buy this size. And I was like, this is not even listed on your catalog. And they're like, no, but for Amazon buyers, this is the size that they buy. And I was like, you know, like a 1/4 inch difference, the 3/4 inch difference. And I was like, wow.
Well, there's probably two reasons. One, it could be the actual data on what they actually purchase, or two, that size, dimension, and the logistics fees is substantial in your category. Right? Could be a huge cost savings. Getting under, you know, in a lot of categories, getting under 12 inches used to be the play. Now, I don't know if the cliffs in dimensional weight are going to be as different. Maybe they won't be. Maybe it's just it's a straight staircase. But in the current system, it's way more like up. You know, you go to that next tier and it's a huge fee difference.
Okay.
So
cool. Well, good to see you again.
You too. All right. I got one of his rugs in my house, guys. So I didn't know if you want to drop your brand name or not, Junior, but if you do, go ahead.
Sure, I'll do that. How do you like the rug?
Yeah. So it's great. Like my kids started running in circles like maniacs on it. They thought it was the craziest, funnest, like little maze to run around on. So
cool. Hey, thanks for sharing. I'll drop that link. Thank you.
So share the name of your brand though verbally so everybody can hear it.
Home Spice.
All right, guys. Home Spice. You heard it. All right, Junior. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for the rug, man. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
All right. It's always fun seeing clients and talking to them and helping them out. We got Hader. He's going to be next. Let's bring him in. After Hader, we've got Brian. Hey, man. How can I help?
Hello there. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, so this is my first time here. My question is in regards to my listing, right? The problem with it is that I can't update the title and stuff like that. And the thing is, how it all started is basically when everything came into like the warehouse. I saw like I had a suppressed and inactive listing, and okay, so I clicked on that. Then it said I needed approval from this other brand, but the thing is that the thing I'm selling, like, it wasn't like trademark. It wasn't didn't have a patent or anything like that. So
you don't have brand registry on this item?
No, I don't.
Yep.
I don't. But I see other people selling it as well. There's like 6, 7, 8 different people selling it. So I'm thinking it doesn't have a patent. And I checked before, it does not have a patent. So the thing is, when I pressed suppressed and inactive, it said approval required, Amazon account issued during the process. So I pressed request approval. Then I just had to fill out some few questions. Then I thought, okay, I might be done for. I might have wasted a bit of time here. Somehow I got past that. They said, okay, approved, done. Okay, I said, okay, thank God I went past this. We can focus on what's ahead. Then after, what happened was I wanted to change the title, because the title, when I first initially started, I just put a little title on.
It's going to be very difficult for you to update this title. because you're one of 8 sellers and you don't have brand registry control. So normally, if you have brand registry, I could give you a bunch of advice about how to go about it, template upload files, brand registry tickets. None of that's going to apply to you. Okay. The only way you're going to be able to fix a stuck title as a reseller is to call potentially on the weekends. Saturday is the best day of the week to call seller support and ask them to update the title.
Yeah, basically, I kept getting emails, right? And what they're saying on the emails is saying, we understand this. We are sorry to inform that details page associated with the ASIN is controlled by the brand owner. But I'm like, so is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So somebody has filed brand registry on this item, most likely, and they have control. So if you want to reach out to the brand owner and ask them, like for, hey, I want to help your brand look better. I want to fix your titles. Can you give me brand registry access? That would be a huge selling advantage for you.
Okay. Okay. So there's no other way, right?
Otherwise,
Yeah.
otherwise you're at the mercy of seller support, and nobody likes that.
No one wants to be there. Yeah, I understand. Because I'll be trying to contact them by calling them, right? And the thing is, I kept getting internal failure when I try to call them, but it's just a bit of a hassle, honestly. I don't know
It
why
is.
I don't know why I can't get
It
through
is.
to them for some
So,
reason.
so while you're trying to get the phone call to work, and they've fired like, I don't know, half their call centers over the years, who knows? But while you're trying to get that to work, file a title change ticket directly in Seller Central. And if that doesn't let you, do trouble uploading catalog and cheat around the system that way. You need to give them the following information. You need to give them the ASIN, the original title, and the new title, and then proof. The proof can be a cell phone picture. The proof can be a manufacturer's URL to get them to update the title.
Yeah, I did, honestly. That's what it said at the bottom of the email. It basically said, confirm that the brand and detail page matches your brand name. Confirm that you don't have access to A+ content for this brand. So I did show them my product packaging, and I did the best I could do was just to show that I don't have A+ content. I didn't know how else to show it, so I just took print screens of my whole listing. I just got back with the robot message.
Yeah. So once you do that second or third reply to a ticket, it's going to get escalated, and just keep asking, and then try calling on a Saturday and see where you get. So your situation, very high bar. We're talking a 9 or a 10 out of 10 for difficulty to get done, which is why I recommend people do private label, start your own brands, control your own destiny. That may not be a good fit for you today. But in the future, just think about it.
Yeah. Okay. The two things you said was for the ticket. I just wanted to write down on my notes so I can just remember. What did you just say? The two tickets you should write was title change.
So you're going to go file the classic title change ticket. And then when you respond to that, make sure you include the ASIN, the title of the old and the new title you want. Switch from X to Y, and then show them the proof, manufacturer's URL or picture. And then if that doesn't work for any reason, keep escalating, call on a Saturday, and then use the catalog trouble upload file ticket section to get in touch with somebody by phone.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you for your time.
All right, Hayden. Very welcome. Cheers.
Yeah.
We'll see you later. Okay. And for those that have been on the show already, please feel free to continue watching on YouTube to make room for more guests to come in. We'll take Rodolfo next. Welcome back. Good to see you again. You're on mute, sir. There you go.
I always do that.
Show me the t-shirt you're wearing, by the way. All right, I'm surrounded by idiots. Do you work in seller support by chance?
No. I know what you're talking about though. But I will say I've worked with other customer service people, and while Amazon seller support is like very frustrating, I will give them credit with like at least being responsive. Because I've worked with like Google and even Facebook support, and man, it's
we use HelloSign for contracts, and they literally stopped sending our contracts out. It took 8 days to get a response on customer service. We were basically saying, if you don't respond to us, we're going to file chargebacks. They finally responded. So I think customer service right now is not a given these days at big tech. And HelloSign just got sold to Dropbox, and I don't know if they fired half their call centers over there too. I don't know. But It's hard. It's hard to get support these days. But in any case, Rodolfo, how can I help today?
Yeah, so I have a question. I don't know if so basically I have it set up where each ASIN that I have has two listings. Has the FBA listing and it has the seller listing, merchant fulfilled.
Very common to do this. I recommend that practice.
Okay. The question I had was, does it affect my buy box if I have my merchant fulfilled with a high shipping cost? Because I have them the same price.
It will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if the shipping cost is higher, it will factor that in and rotate the FBA listing to win the buy box. The exception to this will be when FBA is overwhelmed, they'll rotate it however they want. Or if somebody's not a Prime member shopping and it's basically 6s, whether you're shipping costs versus shipping non-Prime and they're buying your Prime item, they'll be charged shipping. If it's 6s, then it can rotate accordingly. But in theory, your FBM listing will not get as many sales. And by the way, for those that are wondering how this might look, here's an example of an ASIN. We have 2 SKUs, one FBM, one ASIN. You can see we're out of stock on the FBA. So if we click this listing right now, we're only going to see the FBM 9 in stock left. This is one of our newer items for Holstit. We sell target stands, and it's one of our new successful items. We're super excited about it. But in any case, this is what it looks like on the back end, totally kosher. And if you don't want to have shipping charges, another way you can do this is just raise the price of the FBM one by a couple bucks, which is exactly what we did here, $29.99 versus $27.99. And we're trying to get them to use the FBA listing and stay in buy box generally.
Yeah, which is what I try and do, or what I try. That's why we put the high shipping, so they'll be like, just go with the FBA. But I don't know if I didn't think of that, where you're just putting it a couple bucks higher than the FBA. Your
way works. It's just, do you want them to buy it?
I want them to buy it on Amazon.
Yes,
I don't want them.
But if it stocks out, do you want them to buy the FBM?
Yes.
I believe your conversion rate will be better if you have free ship, but that's just what customers expect when they shop on Amazon. So just have the price higher. Psychologically, unless you're hitting like if you're going from $49.99 to $55, that's a huge psychological barrier. That $20 mark, that $50 mark, that $100 mark, huge psychological barriers going $5 over that. I would say shipping is probably the better route. But if it's not at a psychological barrier, I would just do the price raise.
The price raise.
Yeah. Does that help?
And then free shipping.
And free shipping. I think that's generally. Not sure what happened there. Something happened. We got kicked out. All right, we got a couple of guests that are joining back in. We just rounded up with Rodolfo though. All right, he's back. Not sure.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. So we were just wrapping up the conversation on, and I lost my train of thought. So
you're suggesting raise it a couple bucks and then like to account for shipping and then put free shipping.
Correct. That's exactly what I would do.
That actually makes sense. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I'm so dumb.
No, dude, don't feel dumb. Don't feel dumb. That's dude. You don't. Sometimes when you're an entrepreneur or you're a brand manager, you just don't know what you don't know. Sometimes you got to make mistakes. I'm a deductive person. The only way I learn is by making mistakes, right? Like I had to trust and pay them to do the bubble wrap, and then they freaking shipped it out in padded envelopes. So I make mistakes all the time. It's okay. It's all right. And you didn't even make a mistake. You just didn't. We just opened a new possibility today.
Oh, hey, I like that. That's a very good. You should quote that.
New possibility today with Rodolfo on how to price. All right, really good questions coming in today. We actually kicked out everybody on the back end on accident, so hopefully they come back. We got a few guests in queue here. But
I do have a quick follow up just to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's just a yes or no, but when I put the shipping, it forces me to put like all over the U.S. Is there any way I can just put like some states, or does it require that I have to do all the states?
With basic economy shipping, you have to do all states.
Okay.
With Prime, you can be somewhat selective, but it's not even worth doing the self-fulfill Prime program these days. Very seldomly is that worth doing. Maybe like 1 out of 1,000 brands is it a good fit for. So you gotta have some sort of economy option to all states.
Okay.
48 continental in any case. So sorry for the no on that one.
Okay.
But sometimes it's good to rule out one of the possibilities. All right. Possibilities with Rodolfo. Next podcast. All right, here we go. Thanks for coming on, man. We'll see you later. Going to bring in Brian. How you doing, Brian?
Doing well, Stephen. How are you? Nice to meet you.
You as well. All right. How can I help you?
Okay. so essentially this has been a saga that's been going on for the last month, month and a half or so. I was trying to
I love
become.
Amazon sagas. Let me
I know
guess.
they're
Seller
so
support?
easy. Yes, sales support. I was trying to get like 6 SKUs into FBA. They started out with hazmat issues, but so this is kind of a two-pronged question. The first part of it
Yep.
is I have a 2 variation product. So I have one, everything is updating fine except for the title on one of the variations,
Okay.
which is very odd. And I've gone through
What category are you in?
beauty and personal
Okay.
care.
All right.
I've gone through the catalog team. I've gone, which they've transferred to brand registry. I've tried template file. And like for some reason, everything updates except for one title from one of the variations. So I'm kind of at this point of, I heard you mention to someone before about the product ID. For me, it's there as a UPC, not GTIN, but UPC.
So the UPC is filled in?
The UPC is filled in.
Okay.
Yes. So
Are there
like
more than
wondering-
one SKU or just one SKU on that ASIN in your account?
Okay, there is just currently one SKU on the ASIN, but I should add that I deleted an old SKU because I was
Okay.
trying to make things easier with the Shopify interface, with the
All right.
Cranisto interface.
It shouldn't matter.
Okay, that shouldn't matter. Okay, but
Okay.
ultimately
Then-
speaking, once I get past hazmat, I am going to have a secondary SKU for to have FBA and FBM running at the same time.
Okay. So what I would recommend doing is downloading the CLR report still. It looks like I got to hit my screen share here. I'm going to show you one thing to do here too.
Okay.
So download the CLR report. Make sure the UPC field shows up in the CLR report. If it does, then it's going to be something else. If it doesn't, simply load it and your problem will get fixed.
Is this the report you were talking about to where do the search for backup catalog?
Yes, that's
That
correct. So if you
report, okay.
Google My Amazon Guy backup catalog, you'll find my video on how to do this.
Okay.
And just follow that tutorial. Now, the other thing you could test when you're on the listing, when you click on the brand name or the visit the store link,
Okay.
does it load the brand store?
It should load the brands. Hold on.
So try that out real quick. If it doesn't, then you have an issue with the brand node ID. So feel free to give me a verdict on that. And if you want to screen share, you can. I'm happy to troubleshoot with you.
Oh, you're right. It does not. It does not. Yeah.
Brand node ID.
Not show. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Still do the CLR report download.
Okay.
Still reload the template to try and get that UPC to take.
Okay.
And if that doesn't fix it in the same day, then file a ticket telling them to set the brand node ID to that ASIN and connect it to your brand registry. And I believe the reason that you're not able to update that product is because it's not connecting. It's basically, Amazon basically doesn't believe you have ownership of the ASIN.
Okay. Okay. So. Okay. Yeah, I don't understand how that happened, but I guess
dude, I can't even explain
right?
it to you. I just see so many problems. I know how to troubleshoot them, but I don't know the cause.
Gotcha. Okay.
I can only speculate at the cause. I can basically just say, yeah, their catalog's a mess.
Okay, so the point of how I got here to this issue is I was trying to correct something. Because remember, this is a 2 variation. One of the the other variation, of course, is being classified as non-dangerous. This one keeps coming back as being classified as dangerous. So I figured putting everything together and getting everything proper would help correct that issue.
It won't.
So
That's a separate problem.
Oh, well.
Yep.
Of course, that's
So,
too easy. That's too easy.
So
Okay.
once you get, once you're ready to start tackling the hazmat issue, you're going to try and file an exemption sheet.
I have those. I've done that several times.
And then escalate their acceptance of it. So you keep filing it. You file another ticket to say, hey, I filed this 3 times. It's been 40 days. Please move this out of hazmat.
Are you aware of an email address on the Friday Q&A call that said that someone knew about an email address where you can
So after you do the regular submissions going through ticketing and support, you can then escalate to the Jeff at Amazon email. But I would only use this on your account when you have gone through the gambit and show that you've tried to work within the system. And then after it hits a threshold, you followed it up 4 or 5 times. You've tried call-ins. You've done everything you know how to do. Then use that and then email the jeff@amazon.com email and then show them, here's my case ID. Here's what I need from you. Please help. I've tried. I need escalated support here.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Very helpful. And also, one question. Did I hear you say something about adding backend keywords to the parent? Is a good idea?
Yes. So I recommend filling out all attributes that affect SEO on both the parent and the child. Now, sometimes the parent information will override child's, especially in like that sporting goods category that we talked about earlier. But and if you have like a clothing variation with 17 variations, the SEO value on the children is minimal. So it's not like you need to have like 250 unique characters per size variation. But by filling it out, it's beneficial and by and large helpful. The A+ content having 500 words of copy will frequently outperform many of the other SEO fields that people fill out, though, and that's the one that really surprises people. They don't realize that, like, yeah, I got to have 500 words of copy outside of the images. So this is premium A+ content. So here you can see massive photo. All of the text inside of the photo does not help SEO. If you inspect the photo, the alt text does, and we put a misspelling there on purpose. This text helps. These texts that have images don't, like the easy assemble, but this text does. So that's very helpful, and I would recommend having that. And it's okay if you have the same A+ content across multiple variations, but just simply having the copy there to begin with makes a massive difference.
Okay, I have both. I have brand as well as A+, so I'll take a look at it. I haven't paid too much attention to how many words I have on it.
Crawlable text is a huge SEO tip today. So good luck on the SEO journey. Also, good luck on some of those catalog challenges. Never fun to troubleshoot these things.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for your help. Much appreciated, sir.
You're welcome. All right, Brian. Thanks for coming on. Our next guest coming back, Rolando. And guess
what up, my man?
Guess what?
I see. You look smashing, baby.
Thank you. You
look smashing.
I switched my mic stands and I tried. Oh, dude, he's got like I can do that too. I don't know which one I just clicked though. I disabled the colors. I can't move my camera. I'll show you my. Well, maybe I could hold up the. So this is what it looks like.
Ooh, a nice soundboard.
Yeah. And so I got the Rodecaster Pro. So Rolando came on to the show, and he was pointing out. I asked him. I was like, "Man, your mic stand looks really great." And I was like, "What do you do to do that?" And he's like, "Yeah, you got to buy this one mic stand." So I did. So I got this new Frameworks mic stand, and then I ordered some stickers, and I put it on the mic.
Nice. Love the branding, man. Love it.
That branding going. So I also ordered some more stickers where we got the full name, and I'm going to see if I can fit it into frame. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
I also went on Rolando's show last week, and he's got his own podcast. Why don't you give yourself a plug there?
Yes, it's called What the Tech. We bring on folks that
What
the tech, so that folks can grow their business faster. That's the bottom line. You know, been in this thing for 20 years, and I love talking to folks like yourself. I'm going to be straight up. I told my folks the interview we had with you, it's not out yet, but it was the most fun interview I've had in a long time.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I really digged it. We jumped into a bunch of things. By the way, something I didn't share with you, but I'll share with your audience.
Next time, though, I got to practice my baby Yoda voice before I come on. Because man, I was not ready for that.
Well, we did it on the fly. Something I could tell you that your audience also could get a kick out of. There's an extension now for ChatGPT that works on Google Sheets. So if you're doing work, you're doing copy work, bullet work, all that. You were talking to some people about bullet. You just have one row of all of your keywords and all of what you want GPT to do, and just pull it down, and it spits out bullets, spits out description, spits out A+ content, all the rest.
There's some amazing AI advancements this year. It's like world-changing events going on place right now.
Major, big time.
I've installed GPT into my Slack. Mm-hmm. We have the API access. We've trained every one of our members how to use it. ChatGPT is not going to replace anybody's job, but what it is
No.
going to do is it's going to give tools to the people who are going to replace your job. And if you're not using these tools, your job will be replaced.
Somebody said the other day, even if you want to add this to what you just said, if you're not using it, your competition is probably using it already.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Right.
And it's been actually fun to see like some Amazon agency positions on the tool, and the ones that are not embracing it, cough the lazy ones, they're like, oh, humans are superior and better, and I'm like, no, they're not. What's superior is humans that are empowered with AI.
Yeah, no, this is a game changer, and I'm looking forward to version 4. It's coming out later this year. It's supposed to be faster, getting rid of the throttling. By the way, if you don't want to deal with throttling, I've found that my smartphone, I get in 9 out of 10 times, where sometimes the computer, it says, no, we're busy. Come back later.
It must be using different servers.
I think there may be something on the back end with the ISPs like Verizon, Comcast, and the rest that they're throttling the traffic going there.
That's crazy though, because I can't imagine
because in the same
more
network
data than like video streaming.
And here's the kicker. I live in Northern Virginia, which is the world. If you go around 10 minutes from where I live, where 40% of the internet traffic in the world is coming right through this county. So I shouldn't have any problem with any internet connection anywhere around town because the servers are only a couple miles away.
That's crazy. That's interesting.
It's crazy.
I'm happy to have you come on and just talk about mic stands. But do you have a
no?
I do.
I have 2 questions for you.
Right.
One, tag team a little bit on what you were talking about with your last guest. The alt text that you're using on the A+. Are you guys using exact phrase? So like hot sauce, red applesauce being exact versus just randomly putting apple sauce and red into the back end. Does it matter if it's exact versus just in a different order? That's what I'm saying.
The order doesn't matter necessarily, but there are different rule sets. So like in this one, I even used some Spanish, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like we mixed some Spanish with non-Spanish, right? So that's okay sometimes. But like if you look at the back end of a listing, so if we hit edits and we go to the search term field, so let's go to the keyword section here. This field is multi-permuted every word within the chain.
Got it.
So I can attest that you do not need to have the word order correct here.
All right.
However, on the front end stuff, I highly recommend it.
Okay.
Right.
Ordered
so
on the front.
Getting an exact match into the copy and the alt text is beneficial. I do not believe they permutate combinations of every word in the alt text. I don't know if I don't know how to prove it one way or another, which is why I'm saying believe. Okay. But the reason I know they do it here is because they tell us.
Right.
And I don't know that they actually view the alt text field the same way.
Right.
Okay. We know it has an impact on SEO, and anybody that doesn't believe me at this point, I've been talking about this for 4 years, and I've proven it to everybody I've ever talked to. But if you haven't checked it out yourself, go in and add Spanish to one photo, and I promise you, it'll index in under 48 hours.
Wow.
So
I've heard you say that before, and
I've said that exact thing for years. But some people still question. They're like, A+ content doesn't index. And I'm like, dude, just test it. Scientific method. You can replicate my results. I promise.
Okay.
So it's very impactful. The other thing I really recommend 500 words, but yes, the exact match, very helpful. Now, however, for indexing purposes, the exact match is not 100% critical.
Okay.
For ranking purposes, it is. Right. So if you don't have an exact match, it's harder to go from rank 50 to rank 5. You need that exact match, especially in the title, especially in the bullet points. Right. So depending on what word you're working on, it can be very beneficial to do that.
Gotcha. Let me switch topics on it. Something that one of my folks that's not stateside brought to my attention was that Amazon's doing free shipping in countries like the Philippines.
Brand new.
I wanted to see what you knew about it, and if there is a toggle switch somewhere, a setting that needs to be enabled or Amazon's just kind of rolling this out to a few countries and randomly through different ASINs that are FBA.
To my knowledge, there's no control mechanisms that sellers can have. There is a one global setting where you can allow your items to be purchased worldwide, and you can disable or enable that. That is in the FBA section, but there's nothing specific to the Philippines. So for members in the Philippines, and I hire a lot of Filipinos, and I'm actually going to be visiting the Philippines next month. I'm super excited to meet my staff for the first time in person. I've run a fully remote digital company for years now, and I've never met hundreds of my employees, which is just crazy to think about, right? But having said that, I bet you that there are some Filipinos that are watching this right now who could add a comment and say, we see this. So if you could share your own experiences in the comment section, even if you're watching this in the replay, we'd love to see and understand like what the experience is like. I think Amazon going into the Philippines is long overdue. I'd rather Amazon go into the Philippines than say work on another country in South America or whatnot, because the Filipino culture is more American than most other cultures. And so it's a very easy product extension, even if it's 12 hours across 24. It's a 24-hour flight. Holy crap. I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, you're going to, yes, the stop over in LA. And well, there are direct flights out of New York, right? So you could go to New York, and I think it's maybe 18 hours.
Still a layover
right?
one way or another, though. But yeah, I'm going to lay over in South Korea.
So, okay. You're going the other way.
Yeah. So I'm gonna lay over in South Korea, and then I've got like 10 hours in South Korea, and I'm gonna step out of the airport and go to a nice restaurant, and maybe go see like the night market, which is like super famous, I hear. And we'll check it out. Never been to South Korea, never been to the Philippines. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, well, go for it. Enjoy, man. I'm jealous. I've got some folks out there, and then they're the ones that brought this to my attention today and said, "Are you aware there's some competitors that have free shipping to here?" And I was like, no, let's check it out. So we checked it out this morning on the screen share, and
so yours didn't have access, but some of your competitors did. Interesting.
Yes, exactly. And so I was like, you sure free shipping? They showed me. Yes, look at this, free shipping. So it says no import deposit, which is normally was the case if you were shipping to Canada from the US.
Yes.
They'll say you may have some import fees incurred, and now. And so I looked on the back end, and sure enough, Amazon has about 5 or 6 countries: Chile, Colombia, the Philippines, Israel, Hong Kong. Those are all free shipping as long as you spend $49.
So now we know why they're raising fees in March, just because they're gonna have to pay for this.
How could you afford that? That's expensive.
Crazy amount of changes. Well, one more tech topic before we let tech guy go. So I am using the NVIDIA broadcast eye tracker.
Okay.
You seen that? Yeah. I'm not looking
tracking
at the
your eye
right
movement.
Now.
No.
Yeah, no. Like it makes you look like you're looking at the camera when you're not. I'm not looking at the camera right now.
Oh, you're looking down?
I'm looking down. Now I'm looking to the right. Now I'm looking to the left. And my eyes are still looking at you.
Yeah,
right?
Looking straight.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy tech?
That is nice.
You gotta get on this. So the NVIDIA broadcast app, I don't even know if I have an NVIDIA graphics card. It still worked for me.
That's nice.
And then I ported it over to the camera tech. So in OBS, you check it takes the new camera source, and you can do the same thing in StreamYard.
So the NVIDIA becomes your camera, essentially.
Correct. You got it. So I figure you're going to want to jump on a podcast on that, because that's amazing.
No, what I want to do is test out the new, there's new software now that's supposed to remove background noise when you're on any Zoom call, doesn't matter what, versus your, I don't have one laying around here, versus the headsets that people would use in the office. So I want to do a test where do these software apps actually remove barking dogs and barking kids and dogs at the same time.
Here's the NVIDIA broadcast. I'm now looking at the screen on my right over here.
Yeah,
I see
that.
And it has my eyes looking over here.
Yeah.
The camera, right. Okay. So that's that. So you can test the effects for noise removal, room echo. That I don't have that enabled because my mic's pretty high quality.
Yeah.
And then you can check the microphone, the speakers, and then the camera. You can do the camera blur, the things you normally get in Zoom, for example. video noise removal.
is-
There's so much cool tech, right? So like we talked about Chat GPT. There's this eye tracker cool thing, eye contact. It's called eye contact, excuse me. It's in beta, so I can disable it. So like, okay, so I've disabled it now.
Yeah.
Now I've re-enabled it. I did not move my eyes. Okay. Did not move my eyes. And it's going, you see, so it's cool, right?
Some of these screenshots would make actual good YouTube thumbnails with you on the side like that, looking sideways. Those would be good. Those are good. The YouTube face type
the
stuff.
YouTube face. Well, if you want to know the really good YouTube face, it's this. Like I get more clicks when I have my eyes super wide open than any other thumbnail.
I saw Norm Farrar start throwing thumbnails on YouTube that way as well. With his big beard.
Yeah, the beard guy. Yeah. So I tested out I'm not exactly the most emotional guy, right? So like I had to go like study how to make some of these facial expressions. And then I went to a photographer and I was like, hey dude, this is gonna be the weirdest request ever. I want you to take 2,500 photos of me and we're gonna do 25 different 100 poses of me making a slightly different emotional face.
Right.
He looked at me like I was crazy and he's like, yeah, I can do it. Threw a price tag on it. We shot it. I've done 2 of these. I went back 2 years later and hired him again for a second bout. So
wow. That's
and now
awesome.
I'm going with like the shorter hair angle. I'm gonna have to like do another photo shoot with like no hair. So it's Vikings season number 3 right now, and we're changing the hair up.
Oh, so there you go. I love that show. Love it. Love it.
Jamar says, hey, Steven, you're very welcome to visit here in the Philippines.
There you go. I know people are watching in the Philippines. I know that some of the folks that work with us are there and they watch you too. So I know there's got to be other folks that are, getting the 411 from what you got to say.
Well, I appreciate that endorsement, and you're a great human being. Keep doing what you're doing as well. And it's
same to you. Same to you. Have a great weekend. Love it. I'll listen to the rest of the podcast here on YouTube. Have a good one.
All right. We'll see you, Rondo. All right. So I think that's all of the guests on the back end. If you want to make the last guest on camera, you can be the last guest. Just click on that StreamYard link before we end it here. I'm going to go check the comments section and see what we've got sitting in queue here before we wrap the show today. Lots of different topics have been covered. About 50 comments here to kind of wade through. Let's go to a couple of questions. We'll squeeze you guys in. I want to ask Steven, is it possible to beat Amazon's peppercorns with our gourmet peppercorns based on whatever resources, but not based on strong price reductions? Or is this just a dream? Grocery category is massive margin based. Very, very difficult to win margin at all in that space. It's a pure numbers game. And I would say it's definitely possible, but you're probably going to need to add value some way, give it a little bit of scent, flavor, taste, something that's different, because somebody's not going to buy your product first if they're just looking for generic peppercorns. They're going to go with the lowest price option. But if they're looking for the most special peppercorns, they want minty peppercorns. I don't even know if that's possible, but they want them some other different way. You're going to have to serve them some kind of different way. Matthew says, when I search the old ASIN on Amazon or on Google, no listing or information comes up. He's got a 4-parter. Let's go back to his first. Is there a way to check what UPC code is assigned to an ASIN that is no longer listed on Amazon? Yeah, Matt, my favorite way to do this is go take the UPC that you believe it is and simply re-add it to an account. Now, if you don't know the UPC and the Amazon page is down, I'm not aware of a way to check the UPC, unfortunately. It's not the easiest thing to check for. But if you believe you know the UPC and you try and load it to an Amazon account, I think that's one way to check it out. If you have several of the same product, what are the best practices for advertising if you want one of them to be the best seller and get lots of reviews? Put 80% of your budget under the SKU that you think is going to win. Should we promote all of them to get more views for the brands and block out competitors? No. Go for the power SKU. That's a pretty well-known best practice. Highly recommend that. Is multi-channel fulfillment worth it? Absolutely, especially if you don't have a 3PL. What's the benefits of having an LLC for a private label business? As we can also do private label with individual details, I guess. This is a financial or a tax question. Typically speaking, it's harder to run the business, get like a reseller certificate and all those other things that you might need without an LLC. I like to run mine as an S Corp. We file it as an LLC, but it is, taxed as an S corp, and it's just really easy to run that way. And I think there are some tax savings or benefits to doing that versus just being a private individual to run the business. Also, if you want to open up a second account, you're going to need another LLC to do that anyway. Can we connect one email for all child access with multiple Amazon seller accounts? Yes, I do this. I have about 10 Amazon email addresses, all about an average of 80 to 100 emails and accounts attached to each of those email addresses. Not a problem at all. Very easy to do. No problem. The mistake that some people make is they use their admin email and try and connect that to a second account. Don't do that. Bad. Only ever have one admin email connected to one account. But a secondary child can be connected to about 100 accounts. It starts to bug out somewhere between 90 and 100, and you can't really add too many more than that. Otherwise, it has a problem. Rebecca says, not associated with brand, but need to add a new ASIN to catalog. Do you have a step-by-step to troubleshoot? So you're not in control of the brand registry. So just go load the product like you normally would, load the ASIN, load the UPC. And then if it asks you to get permission, you can load a picture of the product and they'll approve you. I do have a guide on this. I don't know if I can find this really quickly, but if you type in something along the lines of my Amazon guide, load a product into Google, you'll probably find it. Silva says, any chance to pick your fulfillment center for prime delivery purpose? No, you can't select the actual facility, but what you can do is change the ship from address and it will change it to a different facility. You can also pay extra and limit it down to one specific facility as well. John says, any recommendations for the alt image keywords, please, like how to choose them? So we cover this in our SEO guide. And if you guys haven't downloaded our SEO guide, we actually give away SOP number 1 on this for SEO phase 1. All you got to do is go over to myamazonguide.com/SEO. And I'm going to share my screen if I can get this up. Add to stream. Here we go. So if you go over to myamazonguide.com/SEO, put your email in here. We'll put you into our subscription list. You can cancel anytime, though. And we'll give you our full SEO guide. I also have a 70-minute masterclass on how to rank number 1 on Amazon. By the way, guys, if you go to YouTube and type in Amazon SEO, this video normally for most people comes up number 1. So if I know how to rank a video on YouTube for Amazon SEO to slot number 1, I might know a thing or two about Amazon SEO. So check out that masterclass, grab all of the phase information, and it walks through how to do image alt text. We have 4 phases of SEO. We index the product, then we rank it, then we go for market share in the 4th and final phase. Really cool stuff that you can figure out when you do this. Lots of best practices on how we recommend to do SEO. For example, I recommend you index for 1,000 keywords by day 30 and try and get 50 keywords to rank in slots 20 through 50 by day 90. So there's like a little barometer for you. We have also checklists on things to make sure you do when you're loading a listing and things to make sure you do. Like, for example, 500 words of crawlable text, 100 characters per photo and alt text. And by the way, the brand story, every photo can get 100 alt text characters. So lots and lots of cool things that you can do and things not to do. So check all those things out. We also have SEO courses over at Mag School. You can check that out at mag-school.com. And I have to open an incognito to pull this up. So let's go over to mag-school.com. And in here, we also just launched our book. You can check that out today. Number 1 new release for Amazon SEO on Amazon.com. So you can grab that. You can get a digital copy. We also just launched the physical copy for the first time. So you guys can check that out. We got lots of cool stuff. Paperback there for $29.99. Let's see. Did our A+ content publish yet? I don't see the A+ content yet. That's too bad. But yeah, check this out. Looks like somebody got their first copy and they're purchased and delivered. So that's really cool. That just literally just happened this week. And then the other thing we just launched is Pope Plus. You can go over to myamazonguide.com/Pope and check out guided coaching. So if you guys like today's episode and you guys want to get more of me, you can join my Slack channel, get access to all of my SOPs. Other agencies are welcome. Come in and grab all my SOPs, upgrade your business, no problem. We'll give you exclusive access to me. I'm capping this at 50 people, so seats are limited. So you're going to want to get into that before we fill up. Probably going to fill up by next month would be my calculation. So you got a few more days before that happens. All right, guys. So that's everything for our show today. It was super awesome to talk to everybody. You guys can always hire us over at myamazonguy.com. Every week, we're going to be doing this at Thursday at noon. However, later in February, I'll be visiting the Philippines. So I will be here on February 2nd, but the following 2 weeks, I'm not going to have the show. So heads up, you can join Jason on Fridays at noon. In the meantime, we'll see you next week. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. And if there's one catchphrase I want you guys to remember, post it in the comment section. It's not me against you. It's all of us against Amazon. So type that into the comment section. Let's see if we can rank this video for that. It's not me against you. It's all of us against Amazon.